Welcome to Season 2. Now that it's here, let's take a look at what's new, talk about it, and touch on the new challenges, of course. Most importantly, though, alright, we've got all your normal season stuff. 4 more prestige milestones are now able to be unlocked. You can go up to 11. Weapon blueprint at the first prestige of the season, then the usual emblem sticker stuff, the prestige shop to go along with it, and there is double XP right away, starting this weekend. Both types, you can get on the grind right away. You got the new battle pass, as always, which people often want me to show. I'm not your guy for talking a ton about paid cosmetics, really not what pulls me in, but it's all there for you to see. The new guns though, those matter, still free of course. The Farah 83 AR at tier 15, defined by having the fastest fire rate in the category. Then the LC10 SMG at tier 31, described as well-rounded, with lower damage, good fire rate, but supposedly with great recoil for using at longer range. Sounds dangerous. Later on there will be unlocked challenges for machete and shovel, or the E tool. I don't really get excited about more melee weapons, but this time there are 2 more mechanically interesting mid-season weapons. The R1 Shadowhunter crossbow, knew the special category had to expand, otherwise they would have just made the Thumper a launcher. Then there's the ZRG 20mm sniper. Yeah, when you hear 20mm in the name, probably not going to be a fast-handling quickscoper favorite. It's supposedly meant for long range with the fastest bullet velocity in the class, high damage, bolt action, slow fire rate, one shot to the head, chest, and shoulders. Beefy boy. Alright, moving along. What I think is the most interesting content here, Zombies Outbreak. I'm all about what they've got going on here. Basically a zombies mode that takes place on the Dirty Bomb maps, or parts of the big Ural Mountains map that's gotta be a Warzone thing at some point. I think that's awesome. More zombies content this soon after Firebase that isn't just a mini unappealing mode like Cranked. Sorry, Cranked. But just because it takes place in an existing play space, it doesn't make it some trash they threw together to call it a mode. There's a lot going on here with the various objective types like escorting, holding an area, hunting an HVT. You got new enemies and mini-bosses to strategize your loadouts around. I love that they're doing this with zombies to add some more varied experiences and also some more progression. There are now refined and flawless Ethereum crystals only earned at higher milestones for upgrading skills to tier 4 and 5 for everything. So 56 new unlocks to get. There's now the Frenzied Guard field upgrade centered around armor stuff, the Shatter Blast ammo mod centered around explosions and countering heavy zombies. Love that, always wanted them to be weak to something. Well, there's a lot to the mode, but describing it all in detail doesn't really fit with the theme of a quick Season 2 overview. I think I'd rather get a bunch more playtime in it and talk about it separately, because it is seeming pretty cool. Do I run away? Bruh! They have immune phases? He's out of here. Oh no. Also, going along with that, there's the 2-week Outbreak event, a bunch of zombies-related challenges to do in Outbreak and Warzone as well, which you may or may not enjoy depending on which of those games you actually want to play. The good news is, it isn't just one weapon blueprint for doing everything, you actually get one for doing all the challenges for one game, and then another for the other game. So you can feel like you got the main reward, even if you only want to play one of the games. Alright, let's look through the season challenges. The first thing is, yes, as you can see, you can continue working on challenges that you unlocked last season. They never re-lock, you just had to get to the level to have them forever. It was funny because I said that here and there in a few videos, and just in the past few days before the season was ending, there was a wave of comments, people coming back and asking if I was sure or where I got that from. Yeah, it was in a couple blog posts, and I thought they worded it pretty clearly, but thankfully that wasn't some kind of miscommunication. I would have looked like quite the asshole. But now for this season, we got the 20 more for zombies and the same for multiplayer and Warzone, and of course they are classified before you grind out the levels, but we can see them with the power of COD Tracker. I'll link these lists below with everything else. You can also get the sneak preview of the cards by scrolling down the barracks. Looking through the zombies list, as expected, I don't see anything that'll be super technically challenging, but several things that'll take some time. I think it's a good list with some more unique stuff in there. I like the shooting 10 hiding mimics. You can go around paranoid shooting everything. Over on multiplayer, most of these sound fairly straightforward until we get to, once again, use proxy mines, but this time to destroy 10 enemy ground vehicles. Yeesh, I remember doing that in Warzone Rumble to get proxy mine Warzone mission kills. It wasn't that bad, but not sure that would count here, because it was a mixed bag last season. It's supposed to mostly track in both, but it seemed like there were some things just for Cold War, and if we're talking just Dirty Bomb or ground war vehicles, that sounds like a jolly old time. Maybe you could drive a car to a somewhat busy area, booby trap it with a bunch of mines, and just camp the whole game away hoping someone hops in. I guess it's only 10, but that's really all that stood out to me for keeping an eye on. The rest vary with how much effort they'll take, but a good mixed bag, and nothing else that seems too frustrating. This 75 ground vehicles, you could just do the Sigma Dirty Bomb strat, float with Engineer, pull up the map, that whole thing. Now, even more challenges to check out. 3 new categories for zombies, all stuff for Outbreak, and actually a lot to do. Everything with multiple challenge tiers, various types of objectives, types of kills, trials, and launch 10 dragons into portals with at least half fuel. What even? Okay, this is great. There may not be an all-encompassing reward at the end to really hook me in and be super addicting, but these do look fun to go through and do. The mode's been fun to try, and yeah, I know I've been super lazy with my intel. Yeah, I think I'll be going through all this as I get the new ranks. If anything seems tough or confusing, or needs a strategy, if a recurring question pops up, I could throw together some guides, or not, if they're all pretty simple. We'll see. Oh yeah, and if you now awkwardly scroll to the right, there are also 2 new Zombies Dark Ops challenges. I assume Outbreak related. No doubt someone will figure those out shortly. Moving on to the multiplayer content side of things. There are what they call 4 new maps, and what a lot of people will consider to be 1 new map, being Apocalypse, the new jungle-themed 6v6. I do love the aesthetic, very cool. Then in season, there's Golova, a Dirty Bomb-sized map, another section cut from the whole we have yet to see. Then Mansion for a face-off/gunfight map, and the final new-ish map later on is another for 6v6, Miami Strike, which could be good. Like Crossroads Strike is a pretty popular size. This could be the Miami Redemption arc. They're gonna chop off a part of Miami, and it'll also be set in the day. Those sound like 2 positive changes. If they've showed it anywhere, I haven't seen it yet, so I wonder how small they're gonna go. Like, is it gonna involve the long street or beach section at all? Like, it could just be the hotel and pool area, kind of underused part of the map. Might turn out okay. They've also adjusted some existing maps. The patch notes were pretty cool this time around. Who knows what the stealth changes may be, but these are infinitely more detailed than last year. We got some cool before and after shots, like they brought out the hedge trimmers on Cartel, finally. Before, after, you love to see it. Cutting all that stuff down. In this one, you can actually see the window now. What a novel concept. Crossroads got some extra stuff to improve visibility, very good. Some cover getting lowered. And Moscow got its large spawns amputated, lots of pictures of that. Yeah, cool stuff. And all the notes are linked below, of course. There's quite a lot you can scroll through. Plenty of balanced stuff like score streak adjustments, and they even increased the distance for what counts as a point blank to help the people complaining about those things. I think those were far from the most annoying challenge, but I guess that's good. Also a neat feature in the combat record, it now shows body multiplier damage. I love having all that info to go along with the detailed weapon stats. I love that they're finally taking that approach. For some other new content, there is the Death Machine score streak, a couple new types of cars in Dirty Bomb, and some returning game modes on the way. Gun Game, always a favorite. Stockpile, which is the dog tag delivery mode, just another name for grind or fracture. Then a newish mode, a multi-team hardpoint. Sounds pretty interesting, honestly. Being on those big fireteam maps, 10 squads of 4, that's a lot of people fighting over a single 2-minute hardpoint. Could be very hectic, could be good for certain challenges. Well, that's the multiplayer summary. So I know it's a popular thing. You could say 6v6 COD has been taking a back seat to Warzone and even zombies now, but I don't look at this and think it's totally neglected. There's all the new guns, another kill streak, game modes, and a decent map variety, even if it's spread thin across the game modes you may not want to play. That's the issue. They did also just drop Express recently without that being part of any roadmap. I'm also just biased to not really care, cause I'm not exactly hungering for more multiplayer content. In my case, I'm glad if Zombies is catching on and they want to put more resources into it. Numbers wise, it does seem like it's more popular than ever. I think it was well built, with fun mechanics, plus with all the cross progression stuff getting people into it, and maybe a growing frustration with the handling of multiplayer. But that part could be me projecting. I know last time when I brought up the feeling that the multiplayer, while I like a lot of things about the fundamentals, has lost its identity and entire purpose through the manipulative behind your back matchmaking. And I was asking the question of like, why do people still play this? And that was rhetorical, but I saw someone be like, well, for fun. Shut up, bitch. And yeah, I know, obviously fun is the whole point of anything. If you're enjoying the multiplayer, I don't want to take that away from you. Enjoy it. I know that you can say anything is pointless. Like, what's the point of playing any game? Well, dopamine, the sole reason for existing. But yeah, how about shooting zombies or playing some grindy PvE thing? Cause sure, it isn't hard, you're not really proving anything. There are tough challenges you can take on, but you also don't have to be proving something to have fun. I used to have some of that mindset of like, multiplayer accomplishments are what really matter. I'm defeating other human opponents. That's interesting. That takes some amount of strategy or skill to outplay, outwit people. But if the multiplayer has us all playing a totally different game, then the accomplishments are unquantifiable. That's what makes it feel pointless to me. There are no actual stakes, only a frustrating illusion of whatever the game wants you to think. So I'd rather just enjoy playing some chill co-op stuff where at least there's no feeling of trickery. It's the same game for everyone. So I just think the multiplayer is alright as a grind sandbox, but it's hard to take meaning from your accomplishments. Well, whatever, no big deal. Just have fun. Or don't. Do something else. All that to say, I'm personally totally fine with their distribution of effort, seeing them come out with more zombie stuff here. Oh yeah, there is the other thing on here I totally didn't get into. Of course, Warzone's got stuff going on, couple game modes coming, points of interest, and the storyline with the missile bunkers and the rebirth ship rolling up, zombies. I'm not playing a lot of Warzone, and by that I mean none, so I don't feel like I'm the best person to be covering that news. I know it's insanely popular though, so I'm sure there are plenty of channels keeping you up to date on Warzone, or you can just follow along with their trailers and blogs. I'd rather not half-ass the Warzone coverage. I'll just not be the Warzone guy, at least for the time being. Maybe when big things happen with the full Cold War map and all that, and if they manage to keep ramping up the more recent anti-cheat efforts, it could be neat to check out. Those are the highlights of what we got going on for Season 2. I'm content with it, there's a lot going on, all the usual new season stuff like the guns and challenges, plus much more zombie stuff than I expected. But that's coming from my point of view. You may not be happy at all with the one new core map and a couple modes sprinkled throughout the season. Well, hope you can have fun with something. Thanks for watching, I'll catch you next time.